This is unbelievable, Eagles fans. Just when it seemed the season was under control, a wave of rumors, decisions, and controversies began to take over Philadelphia. I'm talking about heavy speculation behind the scenes, trades that could change the franchise's future, and even officiating that raised eyebrows in the first loss of the year. The atmosphere became tense, and the sources I consulted assure me something big is coming. But before I reveal everything behind these moves and explain why Bradley Chubb's name is back in the news in Philly, like and subscribe now, because what I'm about to tell you today could be the turning point of the Eagles season. The Philadelphia Eagles started 4-1, but their Week 5 stumble against the Denver Broncos exposed something glaring. The defense, as good as it is, struggles to consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks. In 5 weeks of football, the Eagles have recorded just 7 sacks, and only 2 of them came against Denver. For a franchise built on dominance in the trenches, that's a concerning number. Therefore, it's no surprise that trade rumors are heating up, and all eyes are on Miami, where Bradley Chubb could be available soon. NFL analyst Lou Scartaglia recently floated Chubb as a top candidate for a midseason trade, and the Eagles immediately emerged as one of the top choices, the most logical options for a signing. Chubb, at just 28, has long been known as a dynamic edge rusher, explosive, powerful, and relentless. But injuries often prevent him from having full, dominant seasons. The Dolphins gave up a first-round pick to acquire him from the Denver Broncos in 2022. But with Miami reportedly heading into a rebuild, they may want to cash in now before Chubb's value drops again. And here's the thing, Chubb is off to one of his best starts in years. In just 5 games, he's already recorded 4 sacks and a forced fumble. He looks like the Bradley Chubb of old, the guy who can destroy an offensive line and demand double teaming on every snap. For an Eagles team desperate to increase its pass rush, this is the kind of player who can instantly transform the defensive line. Imagine Chubb paired with Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat. That's the kind of nightmare scenario for opposing quarterbacks who can influence games. Playoff. The timing couldn't be better either. Chubb is proving that last year's injury is behind him, and if he keeps up this pace, he's on pace to record double-digit sacks for the 3rd time in his career. That kind of production doesn't come cheap, but Howie Roseman has never hesitated to make aggressive plays when a championship window is open. And let's be real, for the Eagles, the window is open now. Would Philadelphia really pull the trigger? On paper, it makes perfect sense. On the field, it could be the missing piece. But just when fans are starting to get excited about adding a defensive star, a new addition emerges that could shake the foundations of this very offense. But while the front office considers defensive reinforcements, the real drama may be unfolding on the other side of the locker room, and it involves one of the teams. While the Chubb rumors highlight the Eagles' need to expand their depth, another story is causing concern for a very different reason: the possibility of losing one of their biggest stars. Yes, you heard right. Wide receiver A.J. Brown is the center of growing speculation, and this time it's about his future in Philadelphia. On the surface, the Eagles' offense appears to be in good shape. They're winning games, the running game is firing on all cylinders, and Jalen Hurts still leads one of the most balanced units in the league. But beneath the surface, tensions appear to be mounting. Brown, one of the most dominant receivers in football, has seen his role diminish this season, with the Eagles relying heavily on the running attack. He's not getting the same volume of significant targets as before, and for a competitor of his caliber, that could quickly become a problem. NFL reporter Jarrett Bailey recently connected the dots, suggesting the Pittsburgh Steelers as a potential trade destination if things in Philadelphia worsen further. The Steelers, desperate to find a true WR2 to pair with DK Metcalf after the George Pickens trade, would love to reunite Brown with his Ole Miss college teammate. And let's not forget, the Steelers now have Aaron Rodgers as their starter. And what better way to turbocharge this offense than by giving him 2 legitimate superstar wideouts? The idea of Brown leaving Philadelphia is something Eagles fans don't even want to consider. He's a pillar of this offense, a leader in the locker room, and a nightmare for defenses every week. But the fact that these rumors exist is telling. The rumors are getting louder, and when players of Brown's caliber start to show even the slightest frustration, the NFL world takes notice. Of course, the Eagles aren't in a position to need to move Brown. They shouldn't even consider it unless he openly demands a change of scenery. But this is the NFL, and we've seen it happen before. When star receivers are unhappy, things can get complicated quickly. For now, the Eagles need to find a way to further involve Brown, keep him happy, and put an end to this speculation before it snowballs. And speaking of the snowball effect, the drama didn't stop with trade rumors. The Eagles' Week 5 loss wasn't just a matter of poor execution, it was also marked by highly questionable officiating that left players and fans furious. And if all of that wasn't enough to shake Philadelphia, the on-field controversy also entered the picture, and even the officiating team had to explain itself. The Eagles' 21-17 loss to the Denver Broncos wasn't just their first loss of the season, it was also one of the most frustrating games in recent memory for Philadelphia fans. Why? Because a series of questionable calls by referee Adrian Hill's crew played a key role in determining the outcome. To be fair, the Broncos were penalized 12 times for 121 yards compared to the Eagles' 9 penalties for 55 yards. So on paper, it appears Denver got the short end of the stick. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. Looking more closely, several key fouls, or non-fouls, fell against Philadelphia at critical moments, and those decisions may have been the difference between victory and defeat. First, there was the unnecessary roughing penalty against linebacker Zach Bond late in the fourth quarter. With the Eagles trailing 18-17 and the defense holding them down, Bond delivered what appeared to be a routine hit to R.J. Harvey, who appeared to still be struggling for extra yards. Instead, a flag was raised, extending Denver's drive and putting them in a position to waste more time before kicking a field goal. Instead of getting the ball back with plenty of time, the Eagles were forced into desperation mode. Then came the bizarre intentional grounding sequence. Hill initially threw a flag at Broncos quarterback Bo Nix, only to retrieve it moments later, claiming a receiver was in the box. The problem? No such receiver existed. Hill even got the jersey number wrong in his explanation. It was a baffling sequence that left Eagles fans stunned and furious. The third controversial call negated a huge gain for Philadelphia. A 30-yard completion to Saquon Barkley was overturned for illegal movement, with officials ruling that both players in motion had not repositioned themselves for a full second before the snap. Technically, it may have been the correct call, but it was a close call, and in a game of inches, it cost the Eagles dearly. Finally, with just seconds remaining, Jalen Hurts threw a pass to Dallas Goedert near the goal line. It looked like clear pass interference, but no flag was thrown. Instead of having another play from the 2-yard line, the Eagles were forced into a desperate drive that was not completed. Game over. Referee Adrian Hill defended the calls after the game, but the players were unconvinced. Goedert openly admitted he felt interference had occurred, while Bond said his penalty was subjective and could have gone either way. The frustration was obvious, not just in the locker room, but throughout the fan base. For a team with title aspirations, losses like this hurt more than most. The Eagles not only left Denver with their first loss of the season, but also with questions about officiating, execution, and even roster stability. Eagles Nation, what worries you most right now? The lack of pressure in the pass rush that could lead to a trade for Bradley Chubb, the rumors that A.J. Brown may not be happy in Philadelphia and end up being traded, or the controversial officiating decisions that cost them the first loss of the season? Leave your opinion here, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with Eagles news.